Hello, everybody, and welcome to the
Igual si me traes un poco más cerca, toca el sonido.
Open Roundtable Career Development in Translational Medicine and Research.
Well, it's going to be like a discussion between Jerome and Marta about the academy and the industry. So, well, for example, in MiWEndo, as we are about to finish the PhD, well, it's key for us to choose our path wisely, and it's dependent on several things. For example, our preferences about research, the money you will get paid, that's very important. You don't want to be a homeless or something. You have a PhD. Also the mobility, for example, if you need to travel to another country for, I don't know, for example, for a research group or also for a company. And also if you have the possibility to be in charge of your own group or just, to be a minion and work for an evil guy. So that's not cool. And well, you have these two possibilities in industry. Unless you create your own company, you'll be working for your boss project. I don't like that. But in academy, for example, you have more freedom to select your own research, although it can be very difficult at the beginning to apply for your fundings. Also, for example, in the meantime, you can be a homeless because if you don't have a research group in the meantime, well, it's difficult. So, well, continue.
So today we will have two speakers, Marta Guardiola and Jerome Noailly, who will talk about their works in industry and academia, respectively, and finally we will leave some time for an open discussion. So the first speaker will be Marta. She is the co-founder, chief technology officer, and president of MiWEndo, a spin-off that is focused on developing medical devices for early detection of colorectal cancer using innovative microwave technology. She will showcase the steps she took from the initial idea to the current phase with a 4-year-old established company and progressing across the 4 pillars of medical device development, which are technology, business, clinical, and regulatory. So whenever you want, Marta, you can start.
Thank you very much for the presentation. Yeah, now I'm representing, I have to say, I'm representing like the company, like the industry, but I was a very long years in the academia, so I have both experiences. Okay, so I'm a telecommunications engineer by training, and after that I started a PhD in a new medical imaging modality that is called microwave imaging. Maybe when you listen about microwave, you will imagine, that this microwave oven, that's why I put this here. The thing is that, if you transmit high power, you will end up hitting the tissue. But if you are transmitting low power, you can do a lot of things. The most known things are like remote sensing, like mobile communications and space communications. But what is less known is that it can be used to do images, and in particular, images in medicine. The advantages of this is a new modality. This is not in a clinical practice. There are like 5 or 6 companies that are in clinical trials nowadays for mainly applications on brain stroke detection and breast cancer. And MiWEndo that is working on a new application that is colonoscopy. But the main advantages of this new modality of imaging is that is non-ionizing, meaning that it's safe, is non-contacting, meaning that it's comfortable. And the main thing is that it's very sensitive to the content of the tissue, the content of water in the tissue, meaning that it's very sensitive. It's a good biomarker of several processes, for example, strokes, for infarction in the heart, and the cancer. Okay, so when I finished my PhD, I was investigating in breast and brain stroke. And I moved to UPF to conduct a postdoc. And here, I was involved in teaching and also in other applications, in other research topics. But I found that my motivation was microwave imaging, so I decided to focus in this investigation, in this research, but I needed to find an application that was like a new application, and also to look for funding for this new project. And I tried to link this new application to the application that were working in the research group. And I was very lucky to meet Dr. Gloria Fernandez. She is a gastroenterologist from Hospital Clínic de Barcelona. And well, together with the group and Gloria, we decided to begin a new application that was colorectal cancer detection. In fact, what we wanted to do is to solve an unmet need, that is to improve polyp detection. The polyps are the precursor lesions of colorectal cancer. Well, I will see in the next slide, which is the problem in particular, and link this with an innovative technology that is microwave imaging that was never applied to colonoscopy before. And well, the first thing that we had to do was to look for funding, for grants. The first grant that we obtained was this Llavor grant. It's a small grant from the Catalan government that is very focused in technological transfer projects. It was not our idea. I must say that I didn't even know what was technology transfer at that time, but we decided to go on with this. And we learned a lot of things here. Basically, we were involved in a very good training program from University of California, Berkeley, that it was called Lean Launchpad program. And we were pushed to go out of the building and do a lot of interviews to our stakeholders. And in fact, 100. I didn't reach that number, but it was so interesting because we started validating our idea with the doctors, with other entrepreneurs, with the hospital managers. And at that time, maybe I didn't value that so much as I do nowadays. But I think that is one of the keys of the success, I can say, of this project, to validate the idea with real people at the very beginning of the project. So yeah, and I'm not inventing this. In fact, here I wanted to share with you this matrix from, this is a guidance and impact tracking system from the CMIT in Boston. It's basically a matrix that defines or enumerates the most important tasks to be done in a clinical project, well, in fact, in a medical device project. And they said that in order to de-risk these projects that have a high risk, as you can imagine, you have to work in a balanced way in 4 pillars that are the clinical, the business, the regulatory, and the technology. And they define the tasks that has to be done in each development stage that are here in rows. No, it's quite similar to the TRL, but very particularized for these medical device projects. Okay, let's start with the colonoscopy, the microwave endoscopy project, that is MiWEndo. Basically, we are focusing in the early detection of colorectal cancer, which basically means to detect polyps. And if you detect a polyp, you can remove it and prevent the cancer. So it's very important to detect and remove all the polyps in a colonoscopy. That is, in fact, the gold standard method. Okay, colorectal cancer is very common cancer. In fact, in Spain is the first one. 2 million new cases every year in the world, and the 5-year survival rate is still 50%. Colonoscopy, as I said, is the gold standard, but it has very important limitations. 22% of the polyps are not detected, and 8% of cancers are detected after a negative colonoscopy. This is basically due to the visual limitations, because it has a tiny camera at the end of the colonoscope. The visualization is difficult, and also is a very operator-dependent exploration, as it depends on the experience and also the attention of the endoscopist. Our solution here was to develop this gray cylinder that basically is a small miniaturized radar that is integrated in a piece that is attachable at the distal end of the tip of a colonoscope, of a standard colonoscope, so with an accessory. This radar emits and receives microwave signals and processes them and delivers an acoustic signal when a polyp is detected. It's quite similar to the car parking radar of the car that makes beep, 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 beep when there is an obstacle, so it's quite the same, but with polyp and inside the colon. So, with this system, basically, our advantages is that we have 360 degrees of field of view, and we fight against the operator dependency problem of colonoscopy because we are automatizing this detection with an alarm. Also, microwave are safe, low cost, and without changing the clinical practice, which is a very important thing in new devices. Okay, so the project, as I said, started from the very beginning. In fact, there was no data on the contrast of microwaves between healthy and polyps, so we had to do this study. We used a commercial proof to measure polyps that were freshly excised from patients in colonoscopies in hospital clinic, and we were successful. We could demonstrate that there was contrast. In fact, you can see here in red that are the malignant polyps, and in green and yellow the benign ones. So we demonstrated that there was contrast, and we could differentiate the different polyps and healthy tissues with microwaves. And after that, we decided to go on with the project and building the first MVP, no? The minimum viable product, that it was like this quite big, flat, gray thing that you can see here. This is basically the radar, but in a planar way, and it was not so miniaturized, no, to be introduced in the colon, obviously, but it was like designed to be able to be done in our in the laboratories of the university, and like using the lowest resources possible. So in the hospital clinic, we scanned the excised section of colon with an adenoma that is a kind of polyp, and we were successful in obtaining a detection. No, you can see here the image where the polyp is this dark red area. And with these results, we found our first dilemma. Okay. It was whether to disseminate or to apply for a patent. And this, for a researcher, is not as straightforward as you may know. Because if you disseminate, you cannot patent, and basically patent, the idea is to, it has only make sense if you want to commercialize or license something. So at that time, I have to say that it was like motivated or very I was in love with the entrepreneurship thing, so I decided to go for the patent, and we applied for the patent in 2016. And after that, well, we obtained other grants. This is in 2017. We obtained the Cash Impulse grant that was also with a training program for medtech and pharma projects. And it was very interesting because it was the first time that I heard about the regulatory, and this is one of the important things here. So I learned a lot of things there. We also could had like 70K to invest, to use in our device, in our prototypes. And after that, in 2018, we received a very important grant that is a Producta, that is the second part of the Llavor. This is endowed with 100,000 euros. And we also participated in Ship2B, that is an incubator for impact projects. And with this, within this Producta, it was a very important, significant leap in the project because we could pass from the research, research stage to the like the design, development, and validation and verification phase. No? And in this phase, basically, we had prototype miniaturized, and we started also to work in the business plan, commercialization plan, and also we started to work in the regulatory. In fact, the first step was to subcontract a regulatory roadmap from a regulatory consultancy, and also to classify our device according to the MDR, that is the law in Europe. In fact, our device is class 2A, so it's a medium low risk device. And well, we went on with the project. At the beginning in 2018, we obtained another grant that is from the Instituto de Salud Carlos III, and we used this grant to validate preclinically our device with ex vivo colon samples and also with in vivo porcine models in hospital clinic. And we also participated in another incubator that it's EQS Next Tech, that basically was for industrial projects, and it was quite useful because it was the first time that I was in contact with manufacturers of printed circuit boards, of printed parts, of sterilization of devices. And I realized that here in the local area we have many manufacturers, and so we are in a quite good area to do this kind of medical projects. And in 2019, there is a very important point here because we were selected for the Mind the Gap project from Fundación Botín to receive $500,000 investment. Okay? So it is an investment, it's not a grant. So this means if you want to obtain this money, we have to create the company. So it was another dilemma here, but well, finally we decided to go on through this. However, Gloria and I, who were the people who wanted to go on in a daily basis in the project, we had no experience on business and also legal aspects, because here begin these legal aspects, no, which are basically to negotiate, no, with the institutions. In our case, we had 4 institutions. Also the investors of Mind the Gap, and we also were like doing the first round of investment with 70 people. So there was a lot of people. And basically, well, you have to negotiate with them the cap table and the shareholders agreement and the technology transfer agreement. So Gloria and I found that we need like experience or a person with background of legal aspects and also with negotiation, no? In order to do this properly, because it's important to do this properly, because instead it can compromise the future of the company. So we decided to incorporate a professional CEO, that is Ignasi Belda, and this is a photo of the incorporation of the company in September 2019. Well, and after that, well, the company now has 4.5 years, and from that point to nowadays, we have been working in the validation and the development of the clinical prototype. We validated this with in vivo pigs, with ex vivo colons, with a lot of phantoms, and basically then we applied for the authorization for clinical trials. We conducted a clinical trial for safety with 15 patients in hospital clinic, and now till September last year, we are in the performance clinical trial with 15 patients, also in Hospital Clinic de Barcelona. Well, in terms of money, we have raised 1.3 million from private investments and nearly 4 million from grants. And well, this is photos of the technology evolution. from the prototype I've shown in the first proof of concept stage to the last one, that is the clinical prototype. Basically here there are, well, quite a lot of years, but basically a lot of work in trying to meet the regulatory requirements. Okay, so there are a lot of requirements here in terms of size, cost, compatibility with colonoscopes, electrical and electromagnetic safety, biocompatibility. It has to be sterile and watertight. So when you put all these requirements, the performance is like a trade-off between all of these and performance. So you have to optimize a lot, everything, to be able to work. And these are also photos of the preclinical validation in ex vivo, in phantoms, and in animals. And these are photos of the clinical trial. Basically here it was a safety study in order to show that we are not injuring the patient, if it's comfortable for the patient, and this is the maneuverability of the device, of the colonoscope is preserved. And we also could obtain, well, like a video, no? Where here you can see that the polyp is detected here in yellow from the blue background. Well, and in terms of business, no, well, very, very briefly, the business model is well, we are operating in a very big market, 20 million of colonoscopies every year in the target countries, which are Europe, US, and Japan. And the business model is the integration of our device in a colonoscope of the main manufacturers, which basically are Olympus, Fuji, and well, there are also other smaller manufacturers, which are Boston Scientific. With them are working for a long time in joint projects. Well, we have also external recognition. We obtained we're finalists of the spin-off prize of the scientific journal Nature, and we also obtained a prize of the American Academy of Medicine, endowed with 250,000 euros. And we also are very involved in research. We are publishing and going to conferences, and we have 2 families of patents. And well, finally, this is the team, 17 people full-time. Well, this is the power of MiWEndo, in fact. And that's all. Thank you very much. No sé si m'he allargat molt, eh?
Drive aquí o...
No sé.